When we think about poetry, we usually think about beauty or emotion, right? But what if it's way more than that? What if it could be a sharp spear aimed at a dictator, kind of like Pablo Neruda's work? Or a grand blueprint for a whole new society, like Walt Whitman imagined? Today, we're going to dig into how poetry can become the ultimate weapon of resistance.
Right, it's a great question. How can something so gentle be so dangerous? Well, we're going to explore that by looking at two legendary poets who show us two totally different but equally powerful faces of resistance. One of them wanted to be a storm that would literally change the world, while the other declared that no storm could ever break her.
So, first up, Percy Shelley. Now, when you hear a romantic poet, you're probably thinking about beautiful landscapes and passionate love poems. And yeah, you're not wrong. But for Shelley, poetry was so much more radical than that. To him, it was a weapon.
Just listen to this line from his famous Ode to the West Wind. This quote pretty much sums up his entire mission. He's not just writing pretty verses, he's literally praying for his words to become sparks, a prophecy that will ignite real, actual change in the world. The scale of what he's trying to do is just breathtaking.
See, for Shelley, the West Wind wasn't just, some weather. It was the spirit of revolution itself. It was this powerful force that was both destructive, tearing down old, corrupt systems, and creative, planting the seeds for a brand new, better world. He wanted his poetry to be exactly that force.
And here's the key takeaway. Shelley saw himself as an activist. He wasn't some artist just sitting up in an ivory tower. His poetry was a declaration of war against injustice. It was a megaphone designed to wake up a sleeping society and fight for the liberation of every single oppressed person. And get this, his work had a stunning real-world impact. After the horrifying Peterloo massacre, where British soldiers on horseback charged into a crowd of peaceful protesters, Shelley wrote The Mask of Anarchy, a call for nonviolent resistance. A full century later, Mahatma Gandhi was using it as a handbook in India. Then, decades after that, it was inspiring leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. A single poem's message just rippled across centuries and continents. It's incredible.
Okay, now let's pivot to a totally different kind of resistance. While Shelley was trying to change the world from the outside in, Maya Angelou focused on an unconquerable force from the inside out. She showed us all how to resist simply by refusing to be broken.
This line, this one line from her poem, Still I Rise, is the very heart of her message. It's not a question, it's not a plea, it is a declaration. It's an unbreakable promise of resilience in the face of any kind of systematic oppression, whether it's about race or gender or anything else.
And let's just talk about the absolute genius of this metaphor for a second. Dust. What is it? It's something we see as worthless, insignificant, something you can just sweep away. Angelou takes that single word and uses it to capture the entire historical experience of being dehumanized. But then, she flips it. Because you can scatter dust, sure, but you can never actually destroy it. It always settles, and it always rises again. It's the perfect symbol for indestructible dignity.
So how does this deeply personal pain become this universal anthem for resistance? Well, it's because she is so brutally honest about her suffering. She doesn't hide it. And by doing that, she allows readers everywhere to see their own struggles reflected in her words. This creates this incredible, powerful sense of empathy and solidarity. You suddenly realize, I'm not alone in this. And in that moment, just declaring your own worth when the world is trying to take it from you, that becomes the most powerful act of defiance there is.
So here we have these two incredible poets. One is like a hurricane, and the other is an unshakable foundation. Let's put them side by side for a second and really see how these two types of resistance can work together.
And the contrast is just so powerful, right? Shelley is the prophet, the catalyst, the storm calling for massive external change. He's taking on the whole system. Angelou, on the other hand, is the survivor, the declaration. She's the foundation. Her resistance is an internal act. It's about preserving your own dignity inside of a broken system, and that's what gives you the strength to endure.
But here's the thing, and this is so important. These aren't opposing forces. They're two sides of the same coin. They're like the two wings that allow resistance to finally take flight. That call for revolution gives the external push for change, while that declaration of dignity provides the internal strength for people to survive the fight. You absolutely need both.
So all of this brings us right here, to today. From Shelley's revolutionary fire to Angelou's quiet strength, we've seen how poetry can be this unbelievable force for change. But what about right now?
So I'm going to leave you with this question. In our modern world, with all its scattered conversations and social media noise, what kind of poetic voice do we actually need the most? Do we need Shelley's booming prophecy, designed to shake the very foundations of our society? Or do we need Angelou's quiet, profound declaration of dignity, reminding us of our own inner worth? What voice do you think our era is waiting for?
By the way, the whole analysis we've walked through in this explainer, looking at Shelley's revolutionary flame and Angelou's resilient spirit, it's all drawn from the book Why is Poetry Dangerous by Young Hwang Kong.
If you want to dive way deeper into how poetry has been shaping societies and challenging power throughout all of history, this book is a fantastic resource, and you can find it available for purchase on Amazon.